Welcome to Indy's Real Estate Gurus, your ultimate guide to the dynamic world of real estate in Indiana. And I'm Rick Ripma, your hardworking mortgage guy, and I've been in real estate and mortgages for over 24 years.
And I'm Ian Arnold, a loan officer on Rick's hardworking mortgage team, and we are both with Advisors Mortgage Group. Together, we'll empower you with expert advice, market trends, and successful stories from guru realtors and local experts.
Whether you're a homeowner, investor, or pro, join us as we navigate the thriving Indy real estate market.
Now get ready to unlock the doors of success, one episode at a time.
Well, we are excited today to have Sean and I'm not going to pronounce it right, Sean. How do you pronounce your last name?
McDonough.
McDonough.
Yep. There you go.
McDonough. I don't know why I can't remember that, but I apologize. You're with FC Tucker.
Yes, sir.
You've been in the business for
11 and a half.
11 and a half years.
Yep.
And you've done phenomenally well. You're an awesome agent. You're a guru, or you wouldn't be here.
Thank you.
So we're really excited to have you and talking with you and learning about you. It's exciting. So before real estate, where did you grow up? What did you do? Where did you go to school?
Yeah. So I grew up in Arlington Heights, Illinois, which is northwest of Chicago. It's by Schaumburg. Everybody knows Schaumburg
sure.
for some reason. Maybe the mall. There till I was 18, left for college, bounced around the Big Ten, ended up at IU. Funny story about that. I went down to visit a friend, and on Sunday, getting ready to leave, I was sitting with her and several of her sorority sisters, not wanting to drive back to Iowa 6 hours, I think it was. And they're like, oh, well, you should move here. Oh, yes, I should. That's a fantastic idea. I'll just up and move. I don't know anybody. And, well, I stayed until the next day, and she comes home from work. She goes, oh, I found your roommate. Oh, we're serious? She goes, oh, yeah, I found your roommate. So I met the guy anyway. We fast friends. We're still friends today. He lives right behind me. And so I ended up moving down to Bloomington, getting into IU. From IU, actually my first job was insurance with Anthem. And then that led to a different insurance company. And finally, they ended up getting rid of their medical health insurance department, and they laid everybody off. And we always joked they had a fantastic outplacement. So we always like, oh, it's a great place to get fired from. The severance was good, and they had an outplacement. Anyway, so how I worked my way to real estate is the lady who was, I called her a career coach for lack of a better term, but she was a Tucker agent. And so this was 2011, so we had just come out of the recession, and she had taken the job with this company, this outplacement company, just to make ends meet with the market being down. And I said, well, the only thing I want out of this is to take that test that tells you what you're going to be when you grow up. She says, the Myers-Briggs. I'm like, sure, if that's what tells me what I'm going to do. So I took that, and there was a ton of stuff on it, but one of the things was real estate. And she goes, oh, I'm a realtor. I'm with FC Tucker. And she got really excited and passionate about it. And she goes, I tell you what you do. You know, when we're done here, go down the street. We're right down from our Keystone office. She sent me over there. She had me get a book by our recruiting director at the time, Len Davis. And so I went home, read that, took an aptitude test. Manager from the Carmel office called me up and said, hey, if you ever want to talk real estate, come on in. So I did, and he was awesome, and like, yeah, I think it's something I want to do. Yeah. My neighbor was a realtor. Actually, there's 3 of us in our cul-de-sac.
Really?
Yeah. Another Tucker agent, and then the neighbor that I was referring to has his own brokerage. But I'm like, boy, he seems to be home and I have, time and spending it with his kids. I'm like, yeah, real estate. That seems like you got all this time.
Yeah. That's not what it's like?
No. Not so much as we know. But, yeah, anyway, that's how I stumbled into it, so to speak, and been loving it ever since.
Yeah. So that's a tough time to get started back in 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
So what did you do to get started? How did you make it work?
Well, I was fortunate enough to Carmel, well, Tucker in general, but I think the Carmel office specifically is very good with training and offering options to their agents. And so she's our managing broker, or one of our managing brokers now, but she was a big Brian Buffini fan, if you will. So I sat down with her, and she explained the working by referral and how to stay in touch and what to do on a daily basis. And so I took the training course for it, and it gave me a roadmap of like, all right, well, here's the people that you call, and here's the people that you write your notes to, and your Popeyes, and just the relational aspect of the business, which I loved. I'm like, I get to like talk to my friends and have them help me build my business. This is fantastic.
It's a good deal.
I mean, obviously there's more that goes into it than that, but that aspect of it just totally spoke to me. So, really, that was it. Having that roadmap with the Buffini company and working by referral. So yeah, it kind of launched from there, and then I did open houses and called everybody in my sphere, and just put my name out there that hey, no longer with insurance and doing real estate, and would love your help. And yeah.
So what do you think, doing insurance first, how do you think that benefited you switching over to do real estate?
Well, it was a thankless job, and no phone call ever came through with, oh, this is someone that's going to be thanking me for, approving their surgery. It was, it was the only ones that were denied, and I get it. But every phone call was just as brutal. Who do you think you are? How do you sleep at night? I had someone once tell me they hope someone in my family gets cancer, and it was terrible. But that put me in a position to like handle any difficulty that would come up in a real estate transaction. We know there's no life and death in real estate, right? Sometimes it feels that way, right? There's a lot of emotion,
yes,
but there's really no life and death situations with real estate. So having that background of like troubleshooting and problem solving and the customer service aspect of it tied really well, I felt, with serving my clients and helping them solve their problems and working through difficult parts of the transaction. And
yeah, but there's nothing like getting yelled at and told that you're, they hope somebody in your family ends up with
I've
cancer.
never had a client tell me, I hope someone in my family gets cancer, or how do I sleep with my, how do I sleep at night? And never. I actually get phone calls. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for helping us get the house, and so much.
It's a relationship.
Better. Absolutely,
real estate's a relationship.
Yeah, not a lot of relationships in insurance.
No.
All right, so now we got to find some person to have them call and just cuss them out really quick as a client. That'd be kind of funny.
See how I still react.
Whoa, hold on.
No, flashbacks and cold sweat.
Yeah, how do you deal with that every day, all day long? That would be...
Well, fortunately, it wasn't daily.
Okay.
It felt that way sometimes. It was just, I don't know, you did the best you can. You explained your reason for the decision that was made, and most of the time it just got escalated to our medical review department, nurses, medical director.
Yeah,
people, and I'd be the same way. I'm like, you have no medical background? How are you doing this? And it was a check sheet. Did they meet this? Did they have this? And you read medical records. It was fascinating having a biology degree from IU. I found the whole medical aspect of it kind of fascinating, but you just compartmentalized it. Yeah. One thing that, if I miss anything about that corporate world is sometimes all right, it's 5 o'clock, you walk out the door, you turn it off until 9 a.m. the next day. With real estate, there really isn't that shutdown. It can be if you let it, 24/7, which I think would burn people out pretty quickly.
Right.
But that, just being able to shut it off when you walk out the door.
So let's go to a more positive
Yes.
note. What would you say is you enjoy most about real estate?
Thing I enjoy most is, and this is probably cliche, I truly enjoy the houses. The older the better. I love the old woodwork. And then, this is weird, but I think if you don't have at least some enjoyment of driving, this probably isn't for you either. It's about how much time you spend in the car. But I enjoy driving around, seeing new places. In fact, I had a client, she wanted me to show her a house a couple weekends ago. And we got out there, and then we found out that they just accepted an offer. And she's like, oh, I feel so bad I wasted your time. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, it was out in New Pal. I hadn't been out in that area before. It was, it kind of got my day started on the weekend. And so I appreciated the new experience of wow, I didn't know this neighborhood was before. Wow, this is a nice neighborhood. And, learning it from that, and obviously, helping her, but she felt like she wasted my time. I'm like, no, absolutely not. This is, would I've enjoyed spending more time at home with my kids that morning? Sure. I wish I would have known it sold before I left the house, but we didn't, so whatever.
Yeah. And it wasn't great for her either, because she didn't.
Well, no, absolutely.
Not good for anybody.
She had to leave her current place and drive out there. Yeah. So,
but it's good that you look at it and you realize I'm learning everything. That when I do something, I'm learning a new area, whatever it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing that I love about this is nothing is ever the same. Yeah, you can sell the same house, but a different person, and it'll be a totally different transaction every single time. There was a lady that's been in the business for a really long time, and I remember my first couple months maybe that I was with Tucker. She came by all the new people, and I'm like, oh, but when do you know everything? She goes, I don't know, because I haven't hit that point. And her just telling me that with all her years of experience is like, oh my gosh, well, I need to stop beating myself up and just enjoy the ride and know that you're not going to know everything, because it's always changing. There's always new forms, new laws. Every person is their own personality, so everything's different. So which was great.
Yeah. So you mentioned you like the older homes with the older woods.
Yes.
So describe what one of your best ones you've shown or even sold.
Well, oddly enough, the client that I was just talking about, she bought a house down in the Meridian Kessler area, and they updated the interior, so the woodwork was painted, which is fine. So
I can tell you really think that's fine.
Well, did that come across to you recording this? Anyway, she has this porch, this full-length porch that runs across the front of the house. I'm like, oh my God, I have such porch envy. It's covered. It's got the big, wide, round columns and just a quiet street in the Meridian Kessler area. This is every time I stop by her house, I'm like, can we sit on the porch?
I love front porches.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Something homey about it.
We added one to our house. It's 40 feet long and 10 feet wide. It's
nice.
Beautiful. We have a shaker box. I don't know, type house. It was just straight up. There was just a little stoop out front. changed the entire look. It really
I bet, yeah.
made it a nice. Sorry about that. You don't need to hear about my house, but
No,
I love those porches. I agree.
So if somebody has an older house or wants to look at one or just wants to talk real estate, how would they get in touch with you?
Well, the easiest would be to shoot me a text. 317-313-6297 is my cell phone number. Or they can send me an email, which is just my first initial S and then last name, McDonough, McDonough at talktotucker.com. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. So I think both of those are Talk to Sean Realty. So they can search that and send me a DM that way.
And they can talk to Sean.
And they can talk to Sean, yeah.
Or they can call or text 317-313-6297.
Yes, sir.
Just want to make sure I had the right number.
Yep.
And to get a hold of Ian or I, go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com, or you can give us a call at 317-672-1938. It's 317-672-1938.
All right, Sean, let's get off the real estate. Let's get to know you more.
Sure.
So I take away your phone for 24 hours. You cannot work. What do we catch you doing for fun?
Oh, gosh. Having ADD, I do a lot of things. Fishing. Love to fish. We got a pond in the back of the house, so my son and I will go out there and fish. There's surprisingly a large number of bass in this pond. Awesome. Yeah, I went on a fishing trip to Wisconsin with my dad and brother one year, and we spent 4 days out on this beautiful lake, caught like 2 fish, and then I came home and started fishing this pond. I'm like, what?
You went a long way.
I spent 8 hours driving to this. I mean, it was lovely, but like I could walk 5 minutes to my back of the house and caught more fish. But fishing, I love to cook. In fact, in between the insurance and then landing in real estate, I looked into culinary school.
Oh, really?
Becoming a chef. Someone who was a chef quickly talked me out of that. It's like, if you want to spend any time with your growing family, I wouldn't recommend being a chef. There's so much long hours and all that. But I love to cook, play my drums, play guitar, walk, spend time with family. So, yeah.
So what's your favorite thing to cook?
Oh, favorite thing? I love, well, one of the reasons I've loved cooking or learned to cook is I wanted to learn how to make my favorite dishes instead of going out to restaurants, and it was kind of a way to save money at the time. But I love Creole, Cajun food, jambalaya, gumbo. Not much of a baker. There's too much measuring and specificity in baking that I don't do well with. So I don't know. I'd say Cajun is probably my favorite. So
all right. So when you throwing something together, because I'm coming over.
All right.
Because I grew up down south.
Okay.
And I'm used to doing the crawdads, doing all that stuff, and doing the Cajun stuff. So whenever you're doing it, call us.
All right, Ian, I got you. All right.
You obviously like spice.
Love spice.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Love spice. Yeah, trying to learn more Thai cooking. My daughter loves Thai. Her and I we love just trying different Thai restaurants. So I try to learn how to make that so she and I can share that more often.
That's nice.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm not much of a cook, but I have always found it fascinating that people who are cooks many times don't want to bake, and people who bake, they don't want to cook. I find that happens a lot.
But my wife's like that. She's the baker. She'd rather bake than cook. She jokes. She goes, well, I can, make a mean frozen lasagna. If it comes out of the freezer, she's awesome. But no, she's a great baker. She makes a chocolate sheet cake that I request for my birthday every year. Oh my God, it's fantastic.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah, so that's a good.
Yeah, good combination.
Yeah, absolutely.
The two of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, perfect. Well, what would you say getting back to business a little bit, your superpower or superpowers are?
My superpower. Well, it used to be flying, but then I ripped my cape. So,
I hate it when that happens.
I think my superpower is just making people feel at ease. I bring humor. You might have picked up on that. Bring humor into things, which I think with real estate that can be, emotionally charged. We talked about that earlier. Just bringing a little levity to the situation. I feel just one, it creates a little tighter bond with my clients and well, when they're at ease, I think they can think clearer. Helps remove some of the tension and the emotion that people try to drive, because it's not really facts and figures for everybody. A lot of it is just the emotional aspect of it, and if you can take away maybe some of the negative emotions, it helps them process things.
It also, because I do the same thing. I joke around all the time, and it lets people's barriers down quicker.
Absolutely.
And I find that makes people be able to become more relaxed a lot faster than, hey, let me tell you about me. And it just doesn't work that way. People want to have fun.
Right. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I'm not much of a jokester, though.
No, you are not.
It's not my style. But he's always doing something.
I'm picking up on that, yeah.
Yeah, you got to watch out for him. That's all I'm saying.
He's already invited himself to my house. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Hey, somebody had to do it, and I just had to step in.
This is like the 17th person you said that you needed to be invited over. Do you guys not eat enough at your house?
No. We just have, my kids are 6 and 8. They have 5 food groups: spaghetti, tacos, pizza, and like hot dogs. We don't now I want something fun. He said Cajun. I love Cajun. You don't get a lot of that, especially up here.
Can't you put Cajun on hot dog?
You can. I don't know how it'll work.
A little etouffee and a hot dog.
I don't eat meat, so I wouldn't know. But I'm just saying.
Fantastic.
Plus, I hear his wife makes a mean sheet cake. And if I can get her to make one on another day, maybe opposite of his birthday, he gets 2 a year. Not just on his birthday.
I like the way you're thinking.
Now he's selling.
Yeah. And barbecue. I'd add barbecue. Do you like the barbecue?
I love barbecue. It's one of the biggest
things. Come over
things.
for barbecue.
Do you smoke, or what do you do?
I have a smoker, yeah.
That's
pellet
awesome.
grill.
Yeah, that's what I want to get into.
Did you see? He's like, smoke? What are you talking about? I'm not a smoker.
So, yeah, I paused there. Yeah. Pellet. I love the pellet grill. So, yeah. Barbecue, Cajun, and then I don't know. Something will catch my eye, and I'll try to figure out how to make it, or Google it, or whatever. So, yeah.
Well, you've been doing this 11 years, so we're going to get back on business. See, I tend to get back on business. He wants to go, he wants to have fun.
Sure.
Ian just wants to have fun. I think that was a song or something. Ian just wants to have fun. But, you've been doing this for 11 years. Mm-hmm. You've seen a lot of changes in the market. You've seen things, how everything change. What are you looking at in the future right now? What does your crystal ball tell you is going to happen, or what do you think is going to happen in the future as it relates to real estate? How things are going to change? What do you think is going to go on?
Well, I always tell my clients I don't have a crystal ball, Rick, so you're putting me in a tough spot here.
Okay, we'll do it without your crystal ball.
All right, well, without the crystal ball, really I trust on experts like you guys. My understanding is rates are supposed to drop next year. Be back.
Most experts think so.
Most experts think that. They'll be back high fives. So what we've been talking about at Tucker is, is that going to bring back the feeding frenzy that we had in 2020, 2021, where there's 20 offers on a house. People are going way over list, and we're back to that craziness. So, and honestly, not really looking forward to going back to a feeding frenzy like that.
You think that's what's going to happen?
Well, yeah, I think if rates drop that low, you have all those buyers that have a great interest rate currently, and don't want to look and go, oh, great, they're up to 8 3/8 or something today.
Yeah, they're getting up there.
Yeah. I mean, who wants to jump from a 3% to 8? So I think a lot of sellers are holding off on listing their homes. If we go back to those 5%, it's like they're predicting, I think those sellers, and 3 to 5% a little more doable for them. They could buy the rate down to closer to that 3 if they wanted to. So I think a lot of sellers will come off the fence with the lower rates. Buyers who got priced out of the market with the higher rates are going to flood back in. So I can see another, 2020 or 2021 situation. Yeah. So, which, if you're a listing agent and a seller, thumbs up. If you're a buyer, no one ever thought about the other side of that. Oh, it must be so easy to throw a sign in the yard and boom, it's sold. Well, not really. I mean, there's the hours of work that go into getting the house ready and all that just on the list side.
Right.
But on the buy side, you're like, well, okay, that's the 5th house we wrote an offer on, and, he had to leverage himself to the hilt and give up inspections and all these things that buyers were doing, basically waiving appraisals and appraisal gaps. So it was tough for them, and I don't think anybody really talked about that side of the market when things were going gangbusters.
Yeah. So it was really good for the seller. It was really tough on the buyers. And it was tough on, but it's tough. I think it was tough on the selling agent. Not that it was hard to sell the house, but when you get 20 offers, you have to dig through 20 offers, and you have to help your seller understand what's your best offer, because it's not always the highest price.
No,
it can be something else. Now, but going along with that, part of the reason I asked the question is that's why I think today is a great time to buy a house.
Yeah,
because yes, rates are higher, but if we go back to that feeding frenzy, people were, it absolutely blew my mind. People were willing to pay 70, 80, 125 or more, over 125,000 over list price. But they don't want to pay 8% over 3%, because there aren't 3% still. A record low that we'd never seen before in the history of ever. Okay?
Right, yeah.
Right? So nobody should expect it to go back there. Nobody can tell us for sure it's going to be lower.
Right.
The experts are all telling us that's what they think is going to happen. So if it does happen, I tell people this: if it does happen and you buy today, and you may be over 8%, you're going to be in that range, whatever it happens to be. But that's where you're at. If they go down, you can refinance it. If they go up, you got a great rate.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Because it's lower than everybody else is getting.
Yeah.
So, but when you look at the market, and you look, like you said, you look at the market and you look at what's going on, and you look at inflation and all that, everything points to we should have lower rates. In fact, I don't think rates should be where they're at today. I think they should already be lower. But the feds keep doing things to hurt that. But I think that's actually helping buyers right now. If people would just realize this is a great time to go buy a house.
A lot less competition.
Yes, and there's still houses there. It's not a huge amount of houses, right? But there's still houses there.
A lot more than there was last year.
Yeah. So there are houses. It's a great time to buy. So I just think it's a really smart thing for people to do, and they just need to know this is a good time.
Yeah.
And you don't buy a house because of the interest rate. You buy the house because you want to get equity. I mean,
right.
That's the whole thing is equity. It's the same thing that people say. It's not first time you ever buy a home. It's about location. It's because of equity.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but it was kind of a sticker shock.
Yeah,
we saw it in the market. Last June it started to fall when the rates first jumped up there, and people they adjusted, and we had a fairly normal spring this year where houses were going pretty quick.
Yeah. No, they were going really quick, weren't?
Yeah.
I mean, days on market was ridiculously low.
But it's the same thing that happened in 08, 09. Not a lot of people talk about it. Is similar to houses, how you had an issue. But what happened with gas prices? They went from $2 to $5. Mm-hmm. So what did everybody do? They freaked out. And all SUVs and everything, dealerships would not buy them because nobody would buy them. Everybody went to cars and everything like that. Now, what is it, about a year ago, gas prices shot up to like $4. And what did people do? Nothing. We became used to it.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. It's just one of those things. But as we all know, gas prices, they drop down slowly. So will the interest rates. But guess what? If you buy your perfect house, then you can always refinance. And you don't have to worry about, like you said, you don't have to worry about 20 other offers and trying to beat out 19 other people. So.
Yeah. And that was a tough part of it in those years. So I want somebody, because you're an expert, you're a guru. I want somebody to be able to contact you and get all their housing needs, whether they're buying, selling, or they just want to find out what's their best options. What's the best way they can contact you? Well, again, I would say shoot me a text, 317-313-6297. Second best way would be an email. So first initial S, and McDonough, McDonough @talktotucker.com.
All right. And to get a hold of Rick or I, go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com, or you can contact us at 317-672-1938. See? It's not that hard, Rick.
It's not that hard. That's because you have the note over there that I hung on the wall so you could read the number. Okay? There's no mystery here.
No, there's not.
There's no magic going on. That's because I couldn't remember the number. But then I put the light in front of it. Now I can't hardly see it, so I have to do it by memory.
All right. Well, then I'll do this by memory if this helps you out. We'll do the question of the week. And this one's going to be tough for you.
Okay.
What was your first car?
My first car was an 84 Crown Vic.
Whoa. An old police car. Look-wise.
Look-wise, yeah. It was the civilian version of the old police car. Yeah. Nicknamed the Barrel Bus.
The Barrel Bus?
It's a story for another time. But
okay. You're not going to tell us?
Well, there could be kids listening.
Okay. We probably don't want to hear that then. Yeah. It's funny. Everybody tells us the really juicy stories off air.
Well,
so do you have fond memories of that car?
I do. Well, yeah. I mean, first car, you always remember that one. I remember I walked in, my dad's like, "Hey, I got something to show you," and so I walked out. I was a sophomore in college, I think, at the time, and so I walked. It was parked in the driveway, and he goes, "Hey, let's go for a drive." And so we're driving it, and the front. So the right front was this kind of smashed in, big as a house. And we're driving around. He goes, "What do you think?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's all right." I'm like, well, why are we in this car, Dad? Where's your car? He's like, "Oh, this is yours." I'm like, "What? Really?" So suddenly the smashed up front end didn't matter anymore. And the fact, it was a grandma car or whatever, didn't matter anymore. I was like, "Oh, this is mine." So, yeah, drove that until the transmission dropped.
Yeah, it's funny. Almost every first car has a really good story about how it was no longer their car. Not all of them, but most of them.
Fortunately, I was only a few houses away from my folks coming back to Bloomington when the transmission went out. I had first and reverse left, and I'm like,
that's hard to drive one that way.
Yes. Yeah. Especially in
really
the interstate.
Good at backing up.
It would have been interesting to go driving down the interstate, just shift it in reverse to go, and just see you just driving, passing people, waving at them.
That'll get you pulled over quick.
Yeah. I don't know.
Son, where are you going?
It's hard to drive backwards fast.
Yes.
You better get a lot of practice because it is not the same as driving forward.
That's not something I want to practice.
Whoa. I watch them do it in all these movies. It's not that hard. It must not be.
But eventually they whip around and drive the right way. So
yeah, that's because you can't
84
drive.
Crown
That's
Vic.
the problem.
But I also saw on TV where real estate's easy to sell too, and all you do is go to dinners and drink. So.
Oh, you don't forget to play golf.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, anybody can be a real estate agent.
Easy.
That's how it works, right?
I know.
That's what everybody's been on said.
Yep.
Yeah, they just take the call at the golf course and sell the house.
Yeah.
Set up 3 showings. It only takes 3 showings, right?
Yeah, if that.
Oh, yeah. I saw a show the other day, and it was they just saw one house and bought it. I'm like, I didn't think any of the shows did that. It's like you got to show them 3 houses, and then they buy one of them.
Well, yeah, you got to fill out the half-hour time slot.
Yeah.
So they throw the extra 2 houses in there.
So within that vein, so what are some of the misconceptions people have of what a real estate agent actually does?
Well, the misconception of we all drive Cadillacs. I think
yours is a Rolls Royce. I saw you drive.
Oh, sure, right, yeah, yeah. You like that? And I think back in the day, what was it, Glenn Ross kind of perpetuated that. Coffee is for closers, and everybody drives a Cadillac. But I think the biggest misconception, at least that I hear, is, it's easy. I had a friend's dad tell me that, a monkey could do it. Okay. Did you just call me a monkey? You just throw a sign in the yard and, the house sells that quick. In fact, I think we shot ourselves in the foot with posting on social media, I sold this in 2 hours, and we had all these offers and way over list, and which was true, but it was the end result of several hours, if not days, of work that went into getting that house ready to securing the client and talking them through all their options and staging the home and getting the photos and helping them declutter. And, it's the public sees the sign goes in the yard and the house sold in a day. But there's so much more that went into getting that house ready than just putting the sign in the yard. So,
well, I don't know why people look at most things that we sell. I've been in sales my entire career. Started out in car sales. Weird, huh? And people think, they just walk in and buy a car. That's not the way it is.
Yeah.
It's not. And most people don't like the car salesman when they walk in. They've got a barrier up, and I sold new homes for a builder for 11 years, and there's nowhere near as much of that barrier, that barrier that they put up, but it was still, none of it sold itself. And you can always tell the people like yourself who are the gurus, the volume and things that you do is because you're better at it. It's not easy, but I think it's somewhat of a compliment. When somebody says, it's, a monkey could do it, to me, it's like watching the Olympics and watching a skater, right? And
they're twirling, they make it look so easy.
And it's like, well, I could do that. And then you go get on skates, you can't even stand up, right?
Yeah.
And a proof of that to me is, in the first 5 years, 90% of all real estate agents fail.
Yeah.
I mean,
which is a crazy number.
Yeah, which is crazy, which tells you it's not easy.
Right.
So when somebody's successful like yourself, any new agent or anybody looking at it should listen, and anybody looking to list or sell their house, they should listen to people like you, because and it's unfortunate that they have a perception that it's that easy, because it's not.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, it's like growing hair. It's not that easy.
No.
I beg to differ. Knocking on wood.
Well, for some people, it is.
Yes. You're a lucky man, Ian.
It's not.
Well, if I had to become a guru, it wouldn't be a hair grow, and I'd choose a different guru profession.
Well, a dear friend of mine, she said, "Boy, you must be a thinker." I said, "Why is that?" She goes, "Well, you don't have any hair."
Yeah. Well, just say yes.
So,
yeah.
I think it was a compliment, but yeah. So I was a deep thinker. Yeah. I thought my hair.
I like how
I
easy
thought my
it
hair
is.
Away. Apparently,
I like how easy it is to take care of.
Yes.
It's very easy. And when I go work out and I walk out, my hair looks
money.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Shave it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So If you haven't noticed, we're going to get off this subject.
We lost him on that.
Yeah, well, he can't relate.
No, I cannot. But I like to hear stories. And in the 11 plus years you've been a real estate agent, I guarantee you have some stories. So I at least want to hear one good one.
One good one.
Yep. What, like one of your most memorable transactions?
Oh, gosh. Well, I think my most rewarding story is clients that we were looking at rentals, and I asked them, why are you looking at rentals? Have you thought of buying? And they said, no, we hadn't. And so I connected them with a lender, and that lender sat down with them, and turns out that, yeah, you would be eligible. They qualified for an FHA loan. So that was a victory just right there in itself. And so we went looking at houses, and we ended up getting them a house, and we got the offer accepted. And then it turns out they had a back tax issue that they took care of, but it took forever, go figure, for the government to like clear it for them. And this guy, bless his heart, every day he was down at the IRS downtown, every day checking, did it clear, did it clear, did it clear, did it clear. And I'll never forget, I was driving 465, and the wife called, and she said, Sean, I still get emotional. Sean, you're never going to believe this. It cleared. We got it off our record, and we can move forward. And that closing, just the joy and the tears in their eyes when the seller handed them the key is, yeah, I'll never forget that one.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
And I think one of the points that you made at the start is you said they didn't think they could afford a house or even
they didn't think they could
steps.
qualify. Mm-hmm.
It is shocking when you actually talk to people that how many people don't realize they can purchase a home, and they just don't realize they can.
Yeah.
What is it? I saw a stat the other day is in 2022, only 65% of Americans actually own their house. Everybody else rents. You're almost saying one or like half the population doesn't. They rent. They pay somebody else's mortgage.
Yeah,
that is crazy. But as we all know, more people can afford to buy a home than that would they know.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, they were so excited.
But that is crazy. Every single day going down there.
Yeah, and
I don't know if I could deal that.
Our downtown's great. It's not that hard to get to, but gosh, every single day to drive down there and then stand in line and
talk to the IRS.
And talk to
the rest of it I can deal with, but I want to talk to the IRS every day.
Every day.
They might decide to look into me or something. I might have done, who knows?
You would think after a few days, the person there would be just like, let's just clear this up. This guy will not stop coming.
Well, I think they were first name basis. It's like, step forward, right this way. We got you.
So when you look at that, because you talked about the they wanted to invest in a house. When somebody buys a house like that, what are they accomplishing? What does that do for them in their life by buying a house?
Well, for those folks specifically, just that sense of accomplishment, going from we didn't even think we could qualify and afford to buy a home to we're now home owners, I think was just fantastic for them on so many levels. And it was really, it was neat, if I'm recalling it correctly. One of their things, they were, bless their hearts, they were so easy to work with, because their needs were, they didn't really know like everything that was available to them, and they're like, well, we just, we'd like a spare bedroom for our daughter that has a closet. I'm like, a walk-in closet? No, just a closet. I'm like, we can do that. And, it was, And so achieving that again was this, life-changing for them. So yeah, they're still in the house, and their daughter, I don't think she was even in high school at that time. Now she's graduated college, and she's got a job down in Texas. And
awesome. And it meant a lot to you too.
Oh my gosh!
I can tell it meant a lot to you.
Yeah.
You were able to help them.
Yeah, and just going along that journey with them, and the highs and the lows, and experiencing all that, and the bond that created with us. Going back to what do I love about this? It's that lasting friendship and bond that you create with your clients as you work through a transaction.
Yeah. I want more people to have that bond with you. So what's the best way somebody can get hold of you?
So phone number, shoot me a text or call, I guess. There's a phone app on my phone. 317-313-6297, or they can shoot me a quick email, Sean, or actually S. McDonough, so S and then McDonough at talktotucker.com.
So it's Sean McDonough, 317-313-6297.
Yep.
Call or text.
Yes.
And you're with FC Tucker.
Yes, sir.
Yep. And if you need to get a hold of Ian or I, go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. Or you can give us a call at 317-672-1938. That's 317-672-1938. And please follow us for more Indy's Real Estate Gurus.
And a reminder, if you have any friends, family, coworkers looking to buy, sell, refinance, let us know. We'll be more than happy to help you. Sean, thank you for joining us on our show today. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you for having me. Yep. This was great.
And I think you have one of the best memorable transactions, so I love that story.
Branch NMLS number 33041. Rick Ripma's NMLS number 664589. Ian Arnold NMLS number is 1995469. Equal housing opportunity. Some restrictions apply.